full-time YouTuber, and the surprising thing is I'm barely making any money on YouTube, but I still love what I'm doing. And I'm going to chat about how I became a full-time YouTuber and how it feels to actually be a full-time YouTuber. Let's get right into it. YouTube has definitely changed my life for the better. And most people think that when you're a full-time YouTuber, you must be earning really large amounts of money to be a full-time YouTuber. But I decided that even though I have another monetized channel, but I hardly make anything on that channel. And on this channel isn't even monetized yet. I only have 105 subscribers. But I felt that because I'm 42 years old, I felt that I needed to invest time into something that I am so passionate about, which is YouTube. And I felt that if I needed to go back into my career, I always have the option to do so. But what I don't have surplus amounts of at age 42 is time. And I value time so much that I'm willing to give myself the time to focus, particularly on this YouTube channel, to see what can happen with it. Truth is, when you come across videos like this, how YouTube changed my life, how I'm a full-time YouTuber, you expect the person to be earning decent amounts of money. I get that, I completely get that. But the truth is, I'm barely earning anything on the other YouTube channel. But what keeps me going is the amount of new skills that I've learned on this platform. That even if I don't become this huge YouTuber, which is not what I want in the first place, but what I actually see for myself is further down the line, I see that this part of being a YouTuber actually adds to what my career was prior to being a YouTuber. I've been in the communications field. I raised millions for charities. I worked with the UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson. I even walked with him. I've been in the communications and marketing space for a long time. And I feel like corporates, big companies, they don't take YouTube seriously. And I feel that the knowledge that I'm learning right now can eventually help companies, clients, etc., grow their own YouTube channel. Now you may be thinking, well, Kish, by the way, I'm Kish Hai. How are you going to help other companies and people grow their YouTube channels when this YouTube channel is only at 105 subscribers? Thank you, each and every one of those subscribers. Well, the thing is, even big YouTubers have been at the 105 subscribers mark or even at the 0 mark. You grow over time, and I get that. I get having a life prior to YouTube. I understand that it takes many steps to get to your destination and that not everything is an overnight success. You know, it takes patience, it takes resilience, it takes mindset. So as a 42-year-old YouTuber, I didn't grow up with YouTube. I think I only really started understanding YouTube well just a few years ago, and I became absolutely fascinated by YouTube. When I say I study YouTube every single day, I spend hours studying it, and it doesn't feel like work. It doesn't feel like something horrible to do. In fact, it's the complete opposite. I'm just so interested that this platform can connect people so easily. You know, you can be in America and you can connect with somebody living in India and vice versa, etc. It is such a powerful platform. And because I haven't grown up with it, you know, I don't take it for granted that this platform exists. If you have started your YouTube channel, you may think, oh, you know what, Kish, YouTube is not really changing my life. But it is. Think about everything that you are learning. Think about the very fact that you are putting yourself out there, that you are learning to talk on camera by using your phone like I am right now. Think about how you are getting over your fear of being seen, of being judged, etc. This is boosting your self-confidence. So YouTube is not merely about just sitting here and chatting to you right now. Yes, I can be sharing something valuable to you, but you are also providing me with something so valuable, which is that I am learning to be more confident not just on camera, but to be confident about myself. And that's what you learn when you are a YouTuber. You learn that the things that you used to be so critical of, the way you looked, if people are going to judge you, and all of these things, all of these fears that you had in your head about being seen, once you start actually creating these videos, my word, I'm not saying it goes away completely, but it does start to decrease, because as your confidence increases, your fears decrease. And then the thought of putting out another video doesn't make you feel like, I'm so afraid. You actually start getting excited about it. It took me years to get started on YouTube because I was so afraid to start, afraid of what other people would say, afraid of judgment, etc. If you haven't started your YouTube channel yet, go ahead and start. Don't live with the regret of not starting something that you are interested in. So when I started on YouTube, this fire was lit because I just wanted to learn everything about YouTube. I really, really did. And I still do. And in this channel, I am sharing whatever I'm learning. I'm not an expert, far from it. I mean, hey, I started this channel last year, September, and it's not monetized yet, but that's also fine, because slow growth is still growth. And that's what YouTube has taught me, is to be more patient, because I am incredibly impatient. If I do something today, I want to see the result tomorrow or even today. But on YouTube, it's taught me that I may not see the result even next week, but I will see it further down the line if I improve every video that I upload and publish. I will eventually start seeing growth. When I was thinking of creating this video, I thought, okay, my journey to being a full-time YouTuber. Am I a full-time YouTuber? I actually questioned myself because, hey, I'm not really earning much money at all, really little money on the other channel. But I thought, okay, I am a full-time YouTuber because even though I'm not earning much money, I am doing this every single day. I'm learning about YouTube every single day. This is my focus currently. So this is full time. It doesn't mean to say that something can only be full time if you're earning enormous amounts of money. I don't have a job outside of YouTube right now. Every video teaches me something. It teaches me about how to not feel like an imposter, even though initially I completely did. I was like, who am I to talk about YouTube? I'm no expert. Who am I to share what I'm learning? Who would want to listen to me? You start feeling like you are not capable to be in the space. And then you realize, but who am I not to talk about YouTube? Because I am currently creating videos, publishing it to YouTube. And sometimes our biggest critics are ourselves. The people who tell us no is actually ourselves. The person who puts limitations on ourselves is us. We can do that to ourselves. We can stop our movement. We can stop our progress. And that's what I've also learned, is that YouTube is so much about how we actually speak to ourselves about our journey, not just in the YouTube space, but in life in general. How are you speaking to yourself? Are you being kind and encouraging? Are you being supportive? Or are you just saying, hey, this is a pipe dream. Your YouTube journey is not going to go anywhere. Why bother even starting? Or if you've started and you haven't seen success yet, oh, you should just give up because you aren't seeing success yet. Instead of thinking, continue, but improve every video. If you're still enjoying it, keep at it. How do we actually talk to ourselves? Some people like to dismiss YouTube. They're like, oh, YouTube, you want to be a YouTuber, oh, and they laugh about it, right? And they think, oh, this is just social media. This isn't something serious. Hello, YouTube is media. Media is powerful. Media helps shape the world. Media helps inform, educate us, and provide value in terms of edutainment, in terms of entertainment or education. Media is absolutely powerful. And I say this because I grew up in apartheid South Africa, and apartheid was a horrible system where laws were passed where you couldn't live in certain places because of the color of your skin. If you were not a white person, you were oppressed during apartheid, right? You could only attend certain schools, you could only live in certain areas, etc. It was a terrible, terrible system of oppression. And during apartheid, media was limited. Okay, they had full control and power over our media, so that if you wanted to put out media which showed what apartheid was, they would not allow it. So I know that media is so powerful, having grown up in a system where media was severely suppressed. On a much lighter note, that is still so heavy for me to talk about. And that's another thing. On YouTube, I have to constantly think about, what am I prepared to talk about? What am I not prepared to talk about? What am I prepared to share? What am I not prepared to share? Because YouTube, the word you, it is human to human connection. But at the same time, sometimes it's scary to talk about things that have affected you so deeply. I've learned new skills like editing, and where I always thought I could not edit videos because I always said, I'm not somebody who's really technical. That limiting belief has now been eradicated because I can edit, not like a pro, but a decent amount. I've also learned about storytelling, how we can connect by sharing our stories, which is something that I continue to learn. And I'm sure that in your YouTube journey, you will also learn about storytelling. Do implement more of storytelling in your videos. And I've learned about consistency, consistency, not just for the sake of uploading a new video, but actually looking at improving videos as you go along. And that's so much a part of life and not YouTube, that if you want something bad enough and you put in the effort and the required time, at some point something's going to shift. But I think we are all in such a hurry to see immediate results that we don't understand that the journey itself is so rewarding. This journey of learning about YouTube, about discovering aspects of yourself that you never thought possible. And down the line, you can then reflect, but why not right now? Enjoy these moments of learning. Enjoy these moments of discovering more about yourself in the process of learning about your audience, your community that you're building slowly but surely. And that's the other thing that I was so scared about with YouTube. I was so scared that people who are going to be so nasty in the comments, etc. But I can honestly say that people have been encouraging and supportive. Yes, you'll get the odd person who's just very weird, right? And will say things that are not nice. But the far majority of people on YouTube, when they comment, they are just so lovely, really, really lovely. And it's great to be connected to people who give off good vibes. Because in a world which can often feel difficult, you want your community that you are building and creating to be positive, encouraging, good vibes, and you in turn give that to them. You don't need numbers to validate your purpose here on YouTube, whether you're doing it as a hobby or you're doing it as a career. I would say that sometimes we can be so stuck on the numbers. We can be so stuck on whether we are monetized or not. I've even created a series about this monetization journey on this YouTube channel. But at the end of the day, there's value in learning. There's value in growing. There's value in developing your skill set. There's value in learning how to talk on camera. There is such a value in learning how to be more confident as a person. And you can gain that through being a YouTuber. Keep showing up. Keep showing up for yourself. Keep showing up for the community that you're building. And I say keep showing up, but keep showing up only if you actually enjoy it. Don't show up if you're not enjoying this at all. Don't show up if you hate doing YouTube. Show up if this is something that you enjoy. Growing up in apartheid South Africa, where we were told that our voices didn't matter if you were not a white person, showing up matters so much. Our voices matter, representation matters, not just if you are of a certain color, etc., but your experiences matter, And if you want to share something so much with the world, don't let yourself stop yourself from doing it. YouTube just isn't a platform. It's just not a social media platform. It's a place where you can learn so much about yourself, and it's a space where you can connect with wonderful human beings. But sometimes we may think, you know what, I don't like the way that I look and I'm afraid to be on camera. Or you may think, I'm so insecure about this feature of mine. I don't like my nose. I don't like my eyes. I don't like this. I don't like that. You can feel that way. And the idea of needing to be perfect to be on camera. You absolutely don't need to be perfect because we are imperfect, and that is beautiful. I created a video about this, so go ahead and watch that. And have a beautiful week.